Okay, next rider, Kamen Rider Fourze. Now, Fourze, same as the others, you surround a diamond set of armor in the Astro Switches, which come from Astro Switch ore, just like the cell metals come from that ore. But you also will need, for his driver, you will need to surround a rocket module and diamond boots in these Astro Switches. The same principle applies to every rider. You need their signature core and stuff with the metals in it. So on and so forth. So, let's put on... Now, he doesn't have buffs, but he does have some unique weapons. If I put on the Fourze suit, I don't get any buffs. I still got... It's the equivalent of diamond gear. But you need the rocket switch to switch back to base states. You need the elect switch to switch into elect states. The fire switch to switch into fire states. The N and S magnet, you need both of these switches to switch to magnet states. Clear drill for clear drill state, well, rocket drill states. Cosmic for cosmic states, and and super rocket for rocket states. Now, this is base states. You know, that's what the rocket switch does. Elect states, fire states. I feel fire states should make you have fire resistance. Magnet states, which in the show had shoulder cannons, not sure if they're going to implement that. Clear drill, cosmic, and rocket, super 1, which is rocket states. Now, he has a lot of unique weapons that all have special abilities, which is cool. Let's get these out of here. Well, actually, let's just get the ones out that do not have items associated with them yet. And take out the items. First is Rocket, the Rocket Module, the Elec Module, Billy the Rod, Fire Module, and the Bauerzen Sword. Let's start with these. And also, just because I feel I need to, I'm going to take a second Rocket Module out. You'll see why I did that in a second. Now, the Rocket Module, it's the same as the Diamond Sword, but also if you hold the right button, you can fly. Now, eventually it will run out and you'll fall back to Earth, but I don't think you do take fall damage from it. And it's not as fast as some of Taja Door's combos. See, it's out of power, so I've got to wait for it to recharge. It's not as good as Taja Dole or Super Tato Ba, but it's still useful, and you craft it as such. Astro Switches, Diamond Sword, Rocket Switch. Now, I'm going to switch to Elect States for this, and the Elect Module, Billy the Rod. Now, what Billy the Rod does is it calls down lightning. It's a Diamond Sword otherwise. And I've got to check something here. I'm going to get me a bunch of Astro Switches. Darn it. There we go. Now, I'm going to switch to Game Mode 0, and when you right-click, lightning happens. Now, once more, you cannot spam it. There's a cooldown period. But yeah, and also one thing to note is, I think he coded it special so you can shoot lightning down from the sky. You're not immune to your own lightning, but it's still a very effective weapon. I've used it in testing on a few mobs, and you can own a lot of mods with this. So, yeah, Billy the Rod. Now, there's something wrong with the He-Hack gun at present in that it refuses to work when I'm in survival. I've got it to work in survival before, so it's just a glitching in the mod at the moment. So let me switch to Game Mode 0. Well, Game Mode 1, sorry. Pull it back, and Fireball. Now, I think he mentioned that one time he wanted to make it so that it would only work if you're in fire states, so let me check to see if that's what he did. Okay, you can own... Oh, wait, I'm still in Game Mode 1. Yeah, at the moment this one is glitched. It doesn't seem to work, at least not here. But you can still whack people with it. It still does 7 attack damage. Now, lastly, of the normal weapons is the Bauerzen Sword, the Cosmic Module Bauerzen Sword. Now, what the Bauerzen Sword does is it's basically essentially a, normal diamond sword. And also, before I forget, you need a fire switch to craft that, cosmic switch to craft this, and so on and so forth. But like the other ones, if you shift right click, you get to have strength 3. Now, it didn't seem to consume an Astro Switch, which is a little confusing. I think that's a little bugged at the moment. But, yeah, you get the strength buff just like everything else. Now, let's take that out of my inventory slot to reset it. Okay, so that's interesting. Okay. Anyway, now one thing I do find interesting... Let's switch to a different states for a second. And shift right click again. That time it consumed a switch. So, that means that that is coded... Oh, that is actually pretty cool. It's coded such that if you use the shift right click ability... Okay, it worked then when I was in Cosmic. It didn't work before. That's odd. Yeah, well. But yeah, it essentially works the exact... And boy, Ankh is hard to kill, isn't he? Considering I just hit him with a... Huh. Ankh can take a lot of damage, apparently. Anyway, but yeah, the bars and sword, same as the Prism Picker. Now, the reason I got 2 rocket modules is, and I'm pretty sure this won't do anything, you can, of course, dual wield these. Which is how he's normally supposed to be in this mode, so... You can't use the ability, but you can do this just for lols. Which is how it's supposed to be in the show. And basically, everything is equipped, everything is crafted the same way you'd expect, surrounded with the switches and the switch of that particular module. There's also the Rocket Module Meteor Nautica Fusion States version, which I'll show you, but at the moment it does not do anything special. It's essentially the same exact thing, and there's no way to actually get this because the states that it's associated with is not yet implemented. So, yeah, that's Fourze for you. Yeah. Also, Astro Switches, Astro Switch Ore, so on and so forth. And moving on. Okay, next rider, Kamen Rider Wizard or Wizardo. And at the moment, I think he and Gaim are the least complete as far as what they're going to be able to do in the final version is concerned. Let's grab everything here. Well, everything from the defaults. And same recipes as before, except with the Wizard Driver, you need all 4 Wizard Rings surrounded by 1 Wizard Stone for each. Simple recipes. And equip. Now, no buffs as before, but you do get the Wizard Sword Gun, which, as it suggests, is a sword and a gun combined. In mode 0. And also, Diamond Sword level, but if you shift right click, and this one actually does want to shift correctly, it turns into a gun and fires a fireball. Now, I should note that these fireballs are a lot weaker than the other fireballs. They just set fire to stuff, but they do not require switches, or the gems, so it's essentially just your average projectile weapon with infinity on it. Has pretty good aim, though. Diamond Sword surrounded by Wizard Gems, which, I think that's fair, actually, because this is not an easy weapon to craft, so I feel it being it having that advantage is pretty useful. Now, one thing is I'm in flame style right now, I should be immune to that. Stop interrupting my mod showcase! I already showed you off Masquerade Dauphin. Okay. Well, time, set, day. There we go. So yeah, and like the others, this guy has his own separate forms. Flame, water, hurricane, and land, which don't do anything at the moment. That's probably going to change. Work in progress mod. Also, here's the ore. I think it's the prettiest out of the ore so far. But he also has the flame dragon, hurricane dragon, water dragon, all of that wizard rings. Which is not letting me actually grab out of there yet, for some reason. So, yeah. Flame. Flame Dragon, Water Dragon, Hurricane Dragon, and Land Dragon. These are his mid-season upgrade forms, so Flame Dragon, Hurricane Dragon, and Water Dragon, Hurricane Dragon, and Land Dragon. So at the moment these don't do any sort of upgrades, it's just aesthetics. So yeah, that's all the wizard rings. Lastly is Infinity, which is a super mode. I imagine in the final version this will be harder to get and also do more, but it's his super mode. I think this should have really high resistance as a tip to the mod creator, because Infinity's special ability was that it was essentially invulnerable to damage. So having a high resistance buff would probably make sense. And of course, the signature weapon of this form is the Excalibur, which is a sword that also doubles as an axe. You know, normally it's a diamond sword, but like the other versions, you can consume a wizard gem to switch it into its alternate mode, which gives you strength 3 and switches it to its axe form. Which I do question. Game mode 0. So let's head over here and see if this actually works as an axe. I don't think it would. That might be an interesting trait to add in. Yeah, I don't know if that actually helped at all. But yeah, just the strength 3 buff that the other super weapons have, so yeah. Wizard, Excalibur. Also, something to note is with any of the weapons that do that, you only have the buff when you're holding them, which I feel makes them a lot less easy to abuse. Now, the last items from this section of the mod are the Death's Halberd, Wizard Sword Gun Mage version, and Hamil Cane. I do not think these are craftable yet. They are not. But basically, they're just diamond swords that have certain abilities. I do like the model on the Death's Halberd and Hamil Cane, so I'll show them off here. The Death's Halberd was the main weapon of Kamen Rider Sorcerer from the Wizard movie. The Hamil Cane was a White Wizard signature weapon, and the Wizard Sword Gun was the signature weapon of the mages. Now, of course, the Wizard Sword Gun works just like the normal Sword Gun. You can shoot fireballs with it and all of that. Good stuff. Well, that was a good shot. Yeah, let's put these back. Ah, stupid rain. Why does the rain always choose to rain during mod showcases? Okay, now the last rider in this mod is Kamen Rider Gaim. This is the ore, the Helheim ore. And Gaim is very different than most of the other riders. Game mode 1. And once more, for some reason, it's deciding to be a pain in the butt. Oh, okay, now it's not. Okay. So first I'll grab the suit. Now, this suit is very unique in that first I put it on. Now, see, when I put it on the default, and I noticed that for some reason, that an interesting fact is when you put on the head, which is the arms, it equips in a unique way, it looked like. So, let's equip them all rapidly then. It looked different when it was earlier. But as you can see, I'm in the normal Gaim appearance. And if I put on Gaim's driver, which, you know, you should get this, you should expect this by now, so, Himawari lock seeds, which are the default lock seeds surrounding an orange lock seed, and diamond boots. Simple as that. Now, if I put this on, and why am I in that mode? Dang it. Okay. Now, if I put on this driver, I'm still Gaim. However, if I put on the Ryugen driver, I turn into Kamen Rider Ryugen. That is how each of these different drivers work. Yeah. So, let's grab... I'm not going to show them all because that would take way too much time. But I'll grab the important riders. Well, Greedon is important. I'll grab the first set of riders. Kirakage, Bravo, and Knuckle, and Bujin Gaim. Okay. Now, if I switch each of these drivers out, I assume a form of a different rider. So see, now I'm Bujin Gaim, the main villain of the Wizard movie. Equip this, I become Kamen Rider Knuckle. He has the Kakari bombers on, but there's no power-ups yet. If you have a potion of strength, you could probably have fun with this form. Bravo, who's one of my favorite designs for the riders. And yes, this one still has that problem where you can see your face through your mask. And also something unique I found is if you take off the helmet, not only you get the base suit, you can see your eyes through the helmet, which I think is actually kind of cool. But anyway. Then Kurokage. I'm pretty sure this is the Kurokage version and not the Mook version. Gradon. Let me actually switch Knuckle back in to check something. Oh, that's cool. He even made it so that it was a blank slate, because in the show, Knuckle uses a blank driver stolen from Yggdrasil. Anyway, Melon Zangetsu, who's one of my favorite riders. And Baron, Mr. Banana Man. Baron, Knight of the Spear. So yeah, that's how this works, and I think that's very awesome that it works that way. But that's not all. There are more drivers. Sorry, this is a very long review. My Bandicam keeps running out of room. There are actually even more drivers. I'm not going to show all the Sengoku drivers, but there are also Genesis drivers, which at the present do not have a crafting recipe, and neither do most. 15's driver does, but Mars and Kamaru do not. I imagine that they might be bosses. I do not know. But basically, you craft all these drivers by putting their signature lock seed in the middle. Now, there are some lock seeds that do not have a specific rider. You can use any of the lock seeds with any of the riders. So, I'm Zangetsu right now, so I can use... Well, I'm Baron, but I can still use Pine Arms, I can use Kiwi Arms, which he actually did in the Battle DVD, I think. You can use Ichigo Arms and Orange Arms if you so please. However, there are also the Genesis drivers, which they're not craftable yet, and they cannot use any of these normal arms. They are... I keep forgetting this is not the actual setup. Okay. Now, I'm presently Baron. If I switch out Zangetsu Shin's driver, I become Kamen Rider Zangetsu Shin. I can be Duke, Sigard, Marika, or America. Is it Marika or America? Marika. And Baron. Yes, spoilers, Baron gets a Genesis driver. And unfortunately the Sonic Arrow is not implemented yet. The weapons are over here. But the Genesis drivers cannot use any lock seed except for their own. And I think I accidentally grabbed a lock seed out of there I did not intend to. So let me put these back. Oh yeah. I did not actually intend to grab these out of there. They can also use the Rider lock seeds, which I might as well show since they're unique. Essentially, these lock seeds can be used with the Genesis drivers, Ichigo Rider, Decade Rider, O's Rider, Fourze Rider, and Wizard Rider. So yeah, you can use these, they're in the mod, that's cool. Though, the Genesis Riders can all use their unique, each other's lock seeds if they so choose. And there's also Mitsuru Bokuri, which is Pinecone Energy, which was in the movie. So I can, as Baron, I can use any of the other arms I want to. And I can also use that one if I wanted to. But there's more! Now remember, all of these are, at the moment, work in progress, so all of these do not actually work properly 100%. But if I turn back to Gaim, this is one impressive thing. The driver actually recognizes you are in Gaim, and instead of turning into normal, you turn... Okay, you're supposed to be able to turn into the Jemba forms. How do I do that? Do I have to have a Genesis driver on? You're supposed to be able to turn into the into Jimba, Lemon, or are those different? No? Okay, I'm not sure how to do that, actually. You're supposed to be able to turn into the Jimba arms, but it's not really wanting to work right now. Or maybe I have to... Do I have... Okay, I've not run into this problem before. Let me see if I have to use the orange energy. Okay, you have to use the orange Loxy before you can change into the Jimba forms. Jimba forms were the mid-season upgrade of Gaim. He can use them all. There's no Mitsubokuri energy arms for that. But yeah, it actually recognizes that you are in Gaim and transforms you appropriately. Now, there is one last important detail of this, and you do have to have orange arms. So apparently, remember that you have to switch to orange arms to be able to do that. Kachadoki and Kawami. These are unique lock seeds to Gaim. He's the only one that can use them, and I just noted that the driver changes when you change into Jimba and now has the Genesis core attached. But if you use Kachadoki, and this is a beautiful designed form. It really is. I love how this looks. But you can only assume Kawami from Kachadoki. So you have to turn into Kachadoki, and then you can turn into Kawami. You cannot turn into Orange, then Kawami. You have to go to Kachadoki first, which is how it worked in the show, so it's good that that's how it works here. Now, and I'm going to stay in Kawami because that's the one that makes the most sense for this. There are Endermen. There are weapons. So let's take them all out here. Let's just stick that in there for now. And I'm in Kawami because Kawami can use every single type. So, you know, Banana Spear, Donkachi, which is Acorn Mallet, Melon Defender, Pine Iron, Cage Matushu, I think that's pronounced, the Dynamaru in both versions. And last but not least, the Ichigo Kunai. So, yeah, and this is the reason I have Battle Gear, one of the reasons I have Battle Gear installed. Because, well, this would make the most sense to be able to do is because in the show he can use all these different types at once. So, you know, in Kiwami you do need to have Battle Gear installed to be able to make the full use of it, because it was the only arms that could use every single form, and having multiple Ichigo Kunai is, of course, a plus, because that's how the form worked. Of course, you can also take the Muso Saber, put it in there, and have this, which is how he normally wields it, or if, say, you want to be Zangetsu, you can equip the Melon Defender. Unfortunately, the Melon Defender does not act like a shield once in Battle Gear. If I was the writer, mod creator, I might try to make some compatibility with that, because it would make sense. Or at least be able to use the Melon Defender as a shield. And, of course, for all of these, same old, you just put the Lock Seed there, Diamond Sword for that particular rider. No problem. Now, these are just Diamond Swords at the moment. They don't have any special abilities or anything. They are just Diamond Swords. There's no dimensions, and there's only 2 mobs in this so far, but it is work in progress. If you're a fan of Tokusatsu, as in Power Rangers or anything like that, this is a great mod. It's just going to get better in the future. I highly recommend it. Anyway, this has been Godzilla Wolf 1. I hope you enjoyed this mod showcase. Go check out the mod. The link will be in the description below. Like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for your time. Bye. I still don't have a catchphrase.